center ourselves to this moment. Let go of everything from the past and just bring yourself to here and now. Relax your mind by becoming aware of your true self, a being of light. I am a being of peace. Stabilize your mind in this elevated awareness that I am a being of peace. Allow your mind to relax. Feel the peace within. And as you begin to concentrate on this thought of peace, a wave of relaxation spreads from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And your whole body is now completely relaxed. Hold on to this experience of peace. And just relax.
Om Shanti. We have quite a few people who have joined online, I guess. So welcome to those who joined online and all of you who have joined physically for yet another insight session. Some of you we have been seeing for the last few weekends, and Tala, we haven't seen you for some time. So we're glad that you're here, and we're glad to see you healthy and well, So good, wonderful. So before we start, I was just hoping that to announce one thing was before you leave, check your belongings, because every now and then somebody leaves their belongings, and now we have a whole stash of things that somebody leaves. There are a pair of glasses left there. There's a bottle here, and so then we'll have to find a place. Sometimes we hold on to these things for months and months till somebody comes to claim, and
Somebody left a jacket, it was
it's
hanging there for so long, and then
we had
eventually we had to give it away to
to Salvation Army.
Salvation Army.
I mean, more than a year, it was just hanging, and we would ask every time when people would come, "Does this belong to you?" This, so, so please, yeah. So, but that's good. But whatever, if you check your belongings for yourself, so that you don't get into trouble, and stress, and then you're worrying, where did you leave this. So that's good. Anyways, we recently were invited to, yesterday actually, were invited to a group of physicians meeting. It was the American Indian Physician,
American Association of Indian.
American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. So that's called as RP, and they had a governing body meeting where they had about 40-50 physicians, I guess, a little more maybe. But then they had invited us to talk a little bit about this meditation, and so it was about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and we had a good time. We have uploaded that on YouTube and Facebook. We'll look at it.
Where was that?
It was on south of Charlotte, and so it was a very nice experience. It's so interesting that, like I have been sharing so many times, that across the board, mm, there is an inner desire in souls to learn something more, for a shift in the way they have been thinking, shift in the way that they have been living. The only problem that I see is that 99% of these people who are wanting, their wanting is still at the level of information. There's very little true effort for transformation that I see still, and my hope is that, see, I've shared this before too. The definition of insanity is when we keep doing the same thing again and again and again, and we expect different results. And we have been living our lives in this big quagmire, yeah, of all these problems and issues and attachments and so on and so forth, and even trying to come out of it seems like a Herculean task. But at least the attempt to come out of it will be needed to actually come out of it. You see, one is to, while you're stuck in that quagmire, is to search for ways and information on how you can come out of it. But for how long that information is going to be helpful. That information will become stale very soon, you see. So say, for example, you're stuck in this quicksand, this whole swamp, and you get this information that if you go northeast 46 degrees, you'll be able to get out of it. 2 days later, there could be more flood in that area, and that route may be totally inaccessible. that information has become stale. So when the information comes to us, it's said that when the student is ready, then the teacher arrives. But when the teacher arrives, what are we doing with it? It's an important consideration that we have to at some point look at how I can make the first move, and then the second, and the third, and the fourth, till I'm out of the quagmire. So I want to start with that inspiration to do something. Like if you look at climate control, and people are talking about how much the climate issue is escalating, and there is so much conversation on green energy and lack of awareness in general, and so this awareness is growing, that you should consume less of animal products and less of milk and less of meat, and not throw plastics into, but how many of us truly have even made two steps in that direction? So, good, if you have, that's great. But now, even those two steps, are they enough? We are at a crisis from that point of view. What do you think? Aren't we in a crisis from climate point of view?
Yeah, definitely. We
Uh,
have to take more vigorous
yeah,
steps
yeah.
instead of walking like an ant, right?
You see, there
It's
was
like
this,
walking like an ant, the
yeah,
effort that people are making.
yeah. You see the video of this tortoise totally stuck in plastic thing and can't breathe, and it is all stuck around it.
Yeah, the other day I saw this, I felt so bad that the plastics that, that we just throw away, they are kind of the
They're
ocean.
non-biodegradable.
They're
They end
not
up in the ocean.
right. And then this fish was she swallowed, this fish swallowed this plastic, and then it was bleeding, and
Yeah, yeah.
eventually it died.
Yeah, and there's
So,
another video of a straw stuck in a turtle's nose, and they are pulling it out, and how much it is hurting, and it's not able to breathe. And so we have our own agendas, right? We want,
if we bring that image in front of us, then we will never use plastic when we go to
yeah,
the Walmart. I have seen so many people, using the plastics, just they're pulling the plastic like
plastic
anything,
bags.
plastic bags.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it is. I see them put it in one, then
Yeah.
take it, put it in third. So for each,
So
so
lavishly
so
they're
yeah,
using.
and so I see them taking like 25 bags of plastic, 25 plastic bags for one grocery shopping event that they had.
Little effort, like you carry your own bag.
Yeah.
Be,
Yeah,
aware. Yeah,
so how
cognizant.
many of us are really making that effort? Truly, I mean, from every direction possible. How many, when we throw our plastic spoons, we use this styrofoam, which we know that it takes hundreds of years to degrade. And then sometimes I'll see so many of us sit in the car and leave it on, and it is running, running, running for an hour. Yeah, the other day at Walmart, I saw that somebody had kept the car on and had gone in for grocery shopping. And so, how much we are torturing the environment, torturing nature, torturing the world out there. And despite all that, we know it now. But how much change we are making,
Because we are not feeling actually,
we're
the
not feeling.
feeling has to be there. Just
Yeah.
getting the information is not enough. You have to feel the pain.
Yeah. How much is the fire within us? And similarly, I want to translate that. And actually, there is so interesting that before I translate, actually, there was this very nice video that I saw, a TED talk by a 13-year-old girl. So she's a Swedish girl, and she has become a climate change activist. And she's known across the world now because at the age of 8 or 9, she and many other children boycotted the school. They did a student strike. Then they went and actually sat in front of the parliament for days and we won't go to school. I think what is the use of going to school when all that we learned from the scientists, climate control scientists, even we already know the facts. What are we going there to learn? And what are we doing? What is the need for going to the school anyways for a future which probably will not even exist, right? If we don't take care of the environment, we don't take care of the climate, if we don't take care of our wastage, then how will the world even last till we become, the child becomes an adult, she's saying. And for us to see 10 years now, right? Now this is climate, but now translate this whole thing into the way we live. We keep thinking that I have to have social obligations, I have to do this, I have to earn money, I have to do, I have to collect more, more and more in my garage and my fridge and my bags. For what? For future that won't even exist. We know now that the rate at which we are not just consuming the world, but destroying the world by our negative consciousness. You see, there is now the border is being created, right? The border wall, and then the people, the millions of people who are suffering in the South American countries, Venezuela and Honduras and this, and they're coming and how, and you look at these Middle Eastern countries, you look at every part of the world is about, just about to explode, truly. Why? Because of our own negativities, right?
Because the original foundation, we have, that has been now lost almost. The foundation, the human values, they are no more there. People are not able to feel the pain of others. This is the reason why, people are not able to do anything. They are just listening, but not really doing anything, so that, just they have to put in a little bit of effort.
See, I tell you, I was looking at, somebody had sent me information about how very recently some burglars entered into a house. I don't want to create negativity here, but sort of, they went into the house and how brutally, I mean, one is to take the money away, but how brutally they beat up the person and killed the person. It's an 80, 85-year-old person. And so, truly, the world that we are living in today, unless we make a change, you see the way the brutality is going up, the way the insensitivity is increasing. Are we even sensitive to anyone's needs? In fact, forget about our neighbor, forget about, I don't know, the person in Africa, Nigeria, who cares, right? That's what the thought is. Let me finish my meal. Oh, where are my socks? That's most important for me. Oh, do I have so many different types of varieties on my plate? How many shoes do I have? Oh, I need one more. I don't think these 20 pairs of shoes is going to be enough. Oh, how much do I have in my 401k? I need a little
Because I
bit more.
feel that people have forgotten that we are all one family.
One family. That connectedness is
Connectedness has
gone.
been lost.
Is this intense insensitivity. And that's what I'm saying. Forget about somebody in Nigeria, forget about somebody in Syria or whatever. We can't even think of that. Or if we think, we say, oh, what can we do? Let me just worry about myself right now. But we are not even sensitive to our own family.
Family needs. Yeah.
We are not even sensitive to our own needs, truly, true needs. We are looking at our needs from a very superficial aspect. More food, more money, physical money, more cars, more houses, more clothes, more shoes, more perfumes, more other accessories. But that's about it. But your own inner needs. You want to take us
Yeah.
into those inner needs. What are our true inner needs?
Yeah, basically why we are talking about all these things, because today our focus is mainly on the consciousness of being a servant, right?
Correct.
So
We're
servant.
building this up for that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that before we go into that servant
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, I was thinking, why don't you tell us what our true inner needs are
Mm.
and how much we are ignoring them
Right.
every day.
So we all need basic things. We all need is food, shelter, and clothing that we all have here in this developed country, right? But still, even after having all these facilities, we are not able to feel that really we are happy, because that is what the soul needs. Eventually, we all are looking for peace, love, happiness, all these inner values. And we have disconnected ourselves from these values because now our attention is mainly focused on the external things. Because external things are more attractive. So we are pulled towards that attraction from the outside world. And also because people are, what others are doing, we follow those things, that um, what we want, we kind of ignore that, and we want to kind of show off to others, and that's why we step away from what we really need.
But that's not what the soul really needs, right? It
Exactly.
is the
The
yeah,
soul really needs love. Soul
true
really,
love,
true love,
unconditional, God's
unconditional
love.
love, right?
Yeah, it needs silence. It needs peace.
Yeah, so the peace, love, and happiness, these are the three main values that everyone needs. And for that, in order to experience these three, we have to give ourselves some time.
Right?
Self
Yeah,
care.
true.
When we meet with each other, we say, okay, you take care of yourself. Right? Many times we say like that. Or maybe if we are calling someone on phone, also we say like
Take
that.
care.
Take care of yourself. But what do we really mean by that? Taking care of ourselves doesn't mean just taking care of your health in the body. Not just that, but taking care of yourself means first understand who we are. That self is the soul, the consciousness, the energy. So we have to take care of that soul. And how to take care of that soul? By providing that soul
With what it needs.
what it
Peace,
needs.
love, and happiness.
That is what the
Yeah.
soul needs.
No, I don't think any soul truly yearns for partying. It wants that time alone in
Exactly.
solitude to be able to connect to itself, connect to
Yeah.
higher purpose.
Often we give the example of this tortoise.
Yeah,
When tortoise is this creature is so intelligent. When it doesn't do anything, it is kind of taking rest. Then it pulls its limbs inside the shell. Similarly, we also have to pull all our senses inside, not using our eyes, ears, and all the external things of the world, but using our sense organs, like maybe going inside, not using our senses, just give them rest. Our senses also need rest,
yeah, that's very good. The
right?
mind needs rest. The
Mind
sense
needs
organ,
rest, sense organs, they need rest.
the constant titillation, constant stimulation, right? That we love to give our mind. Mind doesn't like that.
Yeah, even people, I have seen that in gym also, when they are exercising, they need constant stimulation of the music. They are
Music or
using
television.
television or music. Why can't you just practice whatever treadmill or whatever you are doing? Why don't you do that in silence? Why do you need external stimulation?
I think the biggest reason for that is that they want to drown their inner voice.
Yeah,
And the inner voice is constantly telling that, hey, you're not doing right.
yeah, they don't,
And
they
they
want
do.
to tell that voice, you shut up. Right? So see, the violence is there.
Violence is right there. We start with being violent with the self,
Right. So
and
that's
then
not
we
self
don't.
care, and we are
But they
talking about
get
self care.
bored when they're doing
Yeah, I think
treadmill or
so.
something.
They get bored, that's why they're hearing
Yeah.
music.
So
Yeah, because
actually, the soul yearns for silence, yearns for peace, yearns for solitude.
and some people are actually, they're afraid. They're afraid of going inside because when they go inside, then they know their reality, and then they're not able to face their reality.
Like my somebody very nicely said, meditation is really for sane people. It's really not for crazy people, because when they sit in silence and they go in and they find that they're so crazy, I'm sure it's going to mess them up even more. Because that's what's happening with the world, because they want to drown their internal sounds, internal voice, by this external noise. And the problem also is that we have become so
Conditioned,
conditioned
Yes.
to all of these things where like people watch horror movies, people want to watch action movies, and then there's this inner stress and the adrenaline that gets secreted, and that gives you a high. And then when you go to parties, and then party will so many people talking to each other, and everybody dressed up nice, and you look like this, and then this, and then you look at all this, and that creates that adrenaline rush, and we have gotten addicted to that adrenaline rush that gives us
So
a joy.
that is actually, that is our comfort actually.
Hmm.
That's what we need. We have conditioned ourselves in that way that without that, it's very hard for us
Yeah.
to survive.
Yeah, that has become the need of the
Need,
moment,
yeah.
But actually, we have known it now from science that this adrenaline constant, that level, that
That
is
is
high.
actually an emergency kit,
Yeah,
that we are using it on a constant basis.
constant anxiety,
Constant
constant
anxiety.
stress. And I was thinking that apart from this peace, love, happiness, and solitude, and connection even to God, there is also one more thing that I feel the soul yearns for, is to move towards its purpose, move towards that higher purpose. And the higher purpose is really to serve humankind.
Yeah, that's what we say. Spirituality is about knowing, understanding why I am here, what
What
is
is
my
my purpose?
purpose, and what is the meaning in life.
Yeah. And the meaning of life is to serve others,
Right.
to serve others with what we have received from God, and connecting to God on a regular basis, filling yourself up and serving others. You see,
And we need to ask ourselves how much we are doing. Are we really serving?
so the soul needs the serving, the ability to
Yeah.
serve,
It
the
is said
time.
that, it is said that our brain is hardwired to
Yeah,
be generous,
to be generous, yes, to
to
serve.
serve.
Yeah, it is actually
It is
hardwired.
hardwired in that way, but we are not
So if we are going
using it.
against the flow of nature, right? And
Mhm.
so how long will we be able to go against the flow? Right? The soul wants peace, for example. That's the flow. That's the natural flow, and we are holding it back, not giving it peace. The soul wants solitude, but we are not giving it. Soul wants happiness, inner happiness, but we give happiness of the external world. That's what the soul wants. It is against its natural flow, and also not serving others is also against the natural
So, in
flow.
a way, we can say that we are suffocating the soul.
Suffocating, strangling, smothering.
Spirituality, this word has come from this word spiritualis, and the meaning of spiritualis, the meaning of spiritualis means to breathe.
Oh, beautiful. I didn't know this.
So, we are not allowing the soul to breathe, we are suffocating the soul.
And the soul will die eventually then. So
So,
say, no
the,
more. I can't take it
the
anymore.
oxygen, it's not, soul is not getting the
Exactly.
oxygen of silence, oxygen of peace, oxygen of love. This is what the soul needs.
So why are we not doing it?
Because firstly, we have forgotten that we are who we are. We don't know who we are. We think that we are this physical body and we are focused on meeting the needs of
Yeah.
this physical body. We don't know who we are.
But now people are getting that information. There's this still there is so much of inertia, and I thought that maybe we could take a moment to understand, and maybe ask you all. You know it, right? Does anybody still disagree that soul doesn't want peace, true inner peace, true happiness? That's what soul is yearning for.
But like, see, like, if I come here every weekend here and like my husband make fun of me to all his friends that she gonna become a saint now. So, like he's trying to pull me back.
Right. No, that's very understandable.
Well, I
That's
think
very
it's our sanskaras overtaking time to time. Basically, like what you said, we are aware of it. I mean, we have a knowledge, but we are not maintaining awareness all the time.
yeah.
So our sanskaras and the past habits and those things, they overtake. So then we start back into the same rut.
Right.
And at least that's on my personal, and I think that's probably true
Yeah.
with a lot of the
And
people.
also because the soul has become so weak.
Hmm.
If a person is weak,
You
But
know,
the
after, yeah, if you have suffocated it for so long, then it, after some time it will fight, but then it will.
right,
So that's what I guess the soul has become
really
limp.
weak, soul does not have the strength. No
Yeah.
strength is left.
But now I really feel that this by discussing this, by touching on this point, I'm sure there's going to be a little shift in people's minds that something really needs to be done. I mean, what I feel, this is what I feel, this is the crisis moment. This is the moment of crisis. If we don't move now, we don't make a change now, it's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Its time is now. It's now or never.
Never.
Truly. And if you look out there, you can clearly, if you are awake even a little bit, like say, if you're in deep sleep and your house is on fire, you wouldn't know about it. But as soon as you wake up, you see fire everywhere. That is the awakening. Right now, if you are awakened just even a little bit, and I inspire you to wake up if you're not awakened.
This is emergency time.
It's emergency. There's fire everywhere. There's fire of negativity, fire of hatred, fire of jealousy, fire of insensitivity, fire of violence, fire of desires, fire of lust, and true fires too. Actual fire, physical fires too.
Actually, each one of us, we
It's
all are
burning
burning from inside.
inside.
Yesterday when we went for this physicians conference, and I was thinking about this burnout that they describe,
Yeah.
so everyone is actually burning from inside. So
Yeah.
if the physicians are like that, they are burning, how are they going to treat the
Correct.
patients?
Yeah.
So they have to take care of themselves first, put out
Yeah.
the fire
That's so true.
that is inside.
My soul demands silence.
Very
If
nice.
I go for a certain period of time talking or listening or doing and
Very
being
good.
with people,
Yeah.
it's like, it's actually
Yeah,
demands.
demands.
It's like
Right.
I have to stop because
Very
otherwise
nice.
I get very drained and
Good, good. See, what happens is, in general, the demands of the physical world are so big, so overwhelming,
mm,
that it is important for us to really consider what we want from this world. Because if we don't stop now in giving in to the demands of the world, these demands will only get worse. This is the time to stop. No more of these demands. How many? Everybody has gone to parties. How many parties? Okay, say let's say 100,
Countless.
100 parties. After 100 parties, have you achieved any peace? Inner peace? No. So now you know that that's not going to serve you. Then why do you do something that's not going to serve you? It's like if you have a hot girdle and you put your hand on it, it burns you. Next day morning you put your hand in there, and you take it out again. Third day you put your hand again in there. How will that serve? What doesn't serve us? Now is the time to step back and reconsider what we are doing. And just to talk about what happens, your point, that's so valid. What I have realized in my life is, if I'm doing something and there is no resistance, I actually consider and I look deeply into whether I'm really doing the right thing or not. Because as soon as you're doing the right thing, there are going to be numerous forces, external and internal, which will stop you. Period. You forget about coming for meditation if you just decide I want to be healthy and go for a walk every day in the morning. Think of how many things will come to stop you. Your own family members will say, "Are you crazy? It's raining out there. You're going to go for a walk? You're going to put this umbrella on? Ah, it's a nice weather to actually make this hot tea and these nice pakoras, right? Drenched in oil and put a little bit of chutney, a little bit of
In the morning?
why not? People
Yeah,
do
breakfast.
that. Breakfast pakoda breakfast is such interesting breakfast, right? That's what people will say. They
That is
will
wreck.
want to stop you, because the beauty is, the interesting thing is that people in the world want you to fail, because they can't reach there, so they cannot see others succeed. So this, and if you look at the entire world, it is programmed for failure, sort of, in today's world. It wants you to fail. The car mechanic wants your car to go bad so that he can earn something. The doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals want you to get sick. The big pharma want you to have cancer
Yes.
so that they can earn all that money. You see? Look at look at everything. The lawyer wants you to get into lawsuit. You know? So this is how it is built. People are going to stop. If you want to say something more, I think this is a very valid point that we need to address right now too.
Right.
It is happening across the world.
Yeah, people they actually don't like if somebody is growing.
Mhm.
People they don't like that person to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, jealous.
To develop,
Yeah.
they become jealous and they
Right.
make fun.
Yeah. So if I really want to, this is the challenge actually. We have to take the challenge. If you are facing resistance from someone else, then we should have that courage.
Yeah.
You
In
know,
fact,
and
it should reinforce
yeah,
that I'm doing something
right.
right.
And I will do it more. I will show it, that yes, this is really helping me change myself.
I
So
remember when we were in medical school,
yeah, yeah,
we were so young. So what was our age? 23, 20,
yeah,
yeah,
we're in
24,
20s, yeah.
20s, right? In those days, think of somebody going for meditation, wearing this white, wearing badge, going for meditation. You're living in a hostel. All these boys around me. I'm living in the boys' hostel. She's living in the girls' hostel. How do you think? Just for a moment, visualize it in India. How these my co-students, my batchmates, my seniors, my juniors, what would they have said to me?
Crazy.
You, no. No, I'm sure.
That's what we
Yeah.
we
They. I don't think anybody will say, "Go, Shwetan, go, please
Yeah.
go." Oh, wow, you're going so good. Nobody will ever say that. They're going to make fun of you. They'll say, "Oh, you're not. This is this brand new movie of this fantastic celebrity."
one professor even scolded us. You
Yeah,
remember?
everybody would scold us in public, and say things, make fun of us. Said, "Oh, this celebrity movie is coming, Shah Rukh Khan, and you're not going to come?" Shah Rukh Khan is like Brad Pitt of US. Okay, is one of the big celebrities,
Big star.
big star, like or whatever. And so, oh, you're not going to go there? This is the first show. See, we got these tickets in black. Oh, we got to go. Oh, no, no. Oh, where are you going to go? I'm going to go for meditation. Ooh, come, listen, listen, listen. These people want to go to meditation. See, but that's where. If I you remember that beautiful poem by Robert Frost that I have, that I've framed it up for you in the watch, the clock, the wall clock.
Yeah.
The two roads diverged in the woods. Have you heard that?
No.
No? Two roads?
Yeah, two roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, why don't I read it for you?
It's a beautiful poem.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's up to us which way we need to go. One is less traveled and another is,
Right, right.
everyone is going that way. So which way do I want to go?
Mm-hmm.
The less traveled one or the more traveled one?
Yeah,
It's
you-
my choice.
The road not taken. Why don't you read for everyone?
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. You have to make a choice, right? You cannot go
They're
both ways.
diverging.
And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both the morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Thank you. So it's really our choice what we want from our lives. The beauty is that when we go on to this path of spirituality, when we are truly connected with ourselves, connected with the universe, connected with God, then we get so much, we fill ourselves so much that we are now available to serve others in a totally different level that we had never imagined before. So I look at it as this, as say if the parent says, I have to go to work, father says, I have to go to work, and the mother says, don't go to work, I'm so attached to you. And the husband, what will he say? I got to go to work so that I can bring money for the home and then we can enjoy whatever things that we want to buy and so on and so forth. If you also say that way, that's what I said to my parents and said to my family, that if I go to this meditation, I can receive the peace that I want. And that will then be able to, that will be then available to serve you as well.
Can I ask you one thing? Why you need the peace at that young age so bad?
No, it was, I think, it was an inner calling.
Oh,
It was an inner calling. I think I'm glad that I got it at an early age. After a certain age, the knees hurt, shoulders
yeah,
hurt,
yeah,
right? You can't do anything anyways.
yeah,
You see, and then for the
And also, it is difficult to erase all the past things.
past,
yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're young, you have less baggage.
less baggage, the slate is cleaner. So you look at so many people, like Florence Nightingale. She was so young. Why at that early age she decided to serve? Look at Mother Teresa, at what age she decided to serve. So it's sometimes good that there is an awakening at the age of 80 or 90, but by then you're almost
Oh,
dead.
Yeah.
What are you going to do after that?
A lot of times today means whatever, 15 years ago when I got this knowledge, Gnan, and I always felt, why didn't I know this at the age of 25? My life would have been a much different
easier.
Yeah.
direction. And so the the point of view we were discussing, and there was one point in my mind that we all feel uncomfortable when somebody thinks a little bit different than me.
Yeah.
See, this is how although we preach a diversity, which is how the universe is made,
Yeah.
however, we don't like if our neighbor thinks different, your friend thinks different, your
And
grandchildren thinks different.
label them as abnormal people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons, like the sister said, that well, either friend or husband, and if they don't agree, because, you're doing something different than they think, on the contrary, they just be more curiosity that,
And they
that
constantly
how come,
criticize.
oh, you are
Constantly
doing it, maybe I
criticize
want to feel it, But the people, they will wait, maybe after 1 year or 2 years, when they find certain degree of difference in you, and they just say,
True.
wow,
Yeah.
you made so different.
That's
Actually,
so
my
true.
son made a comment last time we went to San Diego 2, 3 months ago. I told her, Dad has changed a lot.
No,
He
he
said,
said Dad seems more happier now.
and I told him, that I'm so inner peace within myself. That's all it is. It
True.
doesn't matter what the other people
Exactly.
think.
So eventually, they even, or just to take this example for exercise, healthy eating, or whatever, you want to start juicing, for example. Everybody is going to make fun of you,
Yeah.
right? You want to eat kale. How is there anybody who's going to say, "Great job, great job"? Going to say, "You're so foolish," right? And that's when you start doing all this. You become healthy. your eyes start to shine, you get, and these people will have high blood pressure and diabetes and this and that, and you're healthy, then they'll say, oh, what did you do? Right, we should do it too. So there is going to be a little bit of challenge, like you're fighting up against the current. If you have the conviction, you see, then you can reach there. And you remember I was telling about this Tiger Woods and how he practiced this swing, and he at the peak of his career, at the peak of his career when he was the top one, he realized that there's something wrong in his swing, and he changed his swing completely, completely. He relearned at the peak of his career when he was top. He relearned how to swing. He said, I want to do it different. And people now are actually studying all his rituals and the ways he transformed. You see? So people are going to say, what is the need for a person who is top, or Roger Federer, or these people make changes all the time. They'll be like, oh, you are top anyways. What are you doing? Why are you spending 5 more hours on the ground? Why are you doing this so much when everybody else is? You're already there. Come enjoy the party with us.
We use two words here today. I think in today's message it was there, opposition and position. Remember, you will receive a lot of opposition from others once you start something different, but you stay in your position of that happiness, that peace, that yes, this is who I am. If you stay in that seat, high elevated seat of awareness that I am peace, I am love, I am a patient being, I am a tolerant being. So keep reminding yourself, keep bringing these, virtues, these qualities, in your mind, and then you will see those values, those virtues manifesting, in your actions, and then these things will not bother you anymore. Right now, what is happening is somebody is saying something negative, it kind of bothers us, right? But a stage will come, when you do this inner work. So this is the inner work that you have to do. Keep exercising. This is the mental exercise that you need to do. Every morning when you get up, say to yourself, ask yourself, who am I? I am a tolerant being, I am a patient being, I am a peaceful being. So this is like, you are empowering the soul. When the soul gets the power, then the soul is not affected by anything from the
And then it
external.
begins to help change others too,
Yeah.
inspire and transform others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And isn't it something that when we are starting, it's the Ved who is starting from a spiritual meditation, that we have to be so careful that we have to be loving all the time, no matter what. That's very hard to achieve. But no matter how other person is, first look at you. I wanted to be loving. I wanted to be that. And
Sure.
once you that, then the people will watch you and they will realize themselves and they will change.
But
If
what
they-
she's saying essentially,
Bring your
you
change.
should be a role model. In other words,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't let your life tell the other people who you are. You don't have to go and convince anybody. Never ever try to convince them. Your life will teach them and tell them that, oh, this is who I can see a difference. So
Our
that's what
action
she's
will speak.
Yeah. Oh, actually.
Yeah.
Automatically to them, and they will say, oh, she's learning something from that.
Yeah.
And then after that,
They
that
will say-
person will say, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Yeah, get more peace from
Yeah.
them. Get more peace
And this
from
is
them.
what has happened. So many students
that
they come
is
for
happening.
meditation, and many
And
times
you will
they
surprise,
say,
he will start coming. That's what happened with me, He said, I'm not coming. I said, I go.
No, that's okay.
so one student was, she came, I think last time or before that, and she was saying that I feel so peaceful. My husband is so happy, and he encourages me. He said,
Yeah.
he says, go, 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 get some peace from from the meditation center, and she was
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah. They will encourage, and then they will themselves one day come. Because your transformation will create that spark, that desire in them.
And they will
to
become
change.
curious. Let me go and see
Learn, yeah.
what she's learning. Let me also learn.
One of the things is there is this pain of creating that change, and then there's a pain of regret of not changing. Which do you think is worse?
Regret.
Right. The answer, So, but there will be a pain of change. internal and external. But the pain of regret, like people say, the pain of change is weighs maybe ounces, and pain of regret weighs tons.
And regret is like a fire.
It's a fire.
Repentance, it's like fire.
I wish I had done this. I wish
Yeah.
I had changed. I wish I had made that effort. You know.
Because too much repentance is not good for the
So,
soul. A little bit
make
of repentance is good, that yes, I did this, I should not have done this. Okay, so now you make a change and do something better
In a
than
way, you
that.
learn from the past,
Yeah.
and not
But
just the repentance, if
yeah,
you will, right?
right. But you keep thinking about it.
Insights that you gain from what mistakes you
Right.
make.
So just move forward. Otherwise, if you think too much, then you are stuck.
That's what I found with myself, on this journey.
Mhm.
That if I get stuck, then it's not going to help me at all, and I need to make the change. And if today as well, even if whatever we are doing right now, we still have to go to the next. And unless I keep pushing my limits, unless I keep raising my bar for myself, I'll never reach anywhere. I would not improve on myself. And even where I am, right, you find that if you want to go to this level now, there is a pain of that change. And if I don't make that
You
pain
have
of
to
the
move
change,
the muscle,
you
right?
remove the muscle at least a little bit. You have to push yourself a little bit. And so, congratulations on you trying to push the muscles, or push the limits and stretch the muscles. Come physically. These small steps will actually lead to big changes in the future.
So can we go
Into servant consciousness.
servant?
Yeah, we can introduce that. I just because I thought that suddenly in my heart it felt as if we talk about this, what really the soul yearns for, and how we can now not let the soul suffer more in this smothering act that we are doing, suffocating act that we're doing for the soul. Allow the soul to experience serving mankind. Yeah.
And then that is what, once the soul starts to serve, the soul starts to get back this beautiful energy from
Yeah.
others, the blessings from others.
Yeah,
Soul also needs blessings.
right. That's what we are talking about now, servant consciousness. And if you want to take us into that and tell us.
Yeah, I think last time we had talked a little bit about this consciousness, this is, servant leadership. This word has come, I think, in 1970s.
Okay, maybe my thought
Yeah.
is this 1980s, but yeah, it could be 1970s.
1970,
The
yeah.
Greenleaf
This
Foundation.
Greenleaf Foundation, they came up with this word.
There's this
Servant
gentleman
leadership.
by the name Greenleaf, right? Robert Greenleaf.
Robert Greenleaf, yeah.
Yeah.
He came up with this idea of, serving should be natural. Serving should not be, like forcing yourself to do something, but it has to come from inside. You should serve with that pure heart, pure intention should be there in serving.
I was thinking, can you talk about this for a moment? Is this something that we can learn, or is it something that you're born with or you're not born with? The desire to serve, right? Is it that, or is it a gift that somebody gives you? And if that somebody doesn't give you that gift of serving, then you pretty much don't serve.
I think we talked about it before, that we are hardwired to be
One
generous.
is hard. Okay.
So we the
Inherently
soul
there is.
inherently we are generous.
But we have to
Inherently-
reconnect to that heart. So relearning that process, right? Is there an opportunity to learn?
Yeah,
is what-
sure. Why
Yeah.
not? We can always train ourselves.
Right.
Because we had forgotten.
It's more like a change of heart than learning.
You see what I'm
Because
getting
you're
at?
hardwired,
Yeah,
unless,
Yeah, good. But what I'm getting at is again this concept of neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
From a scientific point of view, that we have realized that everything that even the hardwiring, if you will say, if you think somebody may come up with this thought that I'm hardwired to hurt others, right? This is how I've been taught. This is my sanskaras. These are my oldest habits. but you can relearn this. They're talking about like empathy and compassion
Yeah, you can
for
train the doctors. People,
doctors.
they're training the doctors to be more empathetic.
Mm. Empathy training. So they do a questionnaire. They ask them to fill a questionnaire of how empathetic do they feel, how compassionate do they feel for the patients. Then they take them through 4-6 weeks of empathy training. They find that the degree of empathy that they have for patients.
And the patients themselves actually they report that now I feel more comfortable with my doctor.
Yeah. So that is happening. So it is something
That's
that we can
good.
train, right?
Very good.
You see. But you think of it, you go to the doctor, but the doctor himself
Yeah.
is there. So
It's in
how
his head, not there is nothing coming from
the
here.
heart, and even the head is somewhere else.
Mm.
And so how do you think you'll be served? So this empathy, that's what I was feeling, that I have felt that you can train yourself to serve. Train in a way that you can talk yourself into it, just like you talk yourself into so many different things. That ice cream, for example, in the fridge. You talk yourself to, let me eat this ice cream today, tomorrow I'll go for a good workout or something like that. Or I'll eat kale tomorrow. But today is ice cream day. You talk yourself into this. So you can actually talk yourself into positivity, talk yourself into serving mankind. Yeah.
It is said, neuroplasticity, when we talk about neuroplasticity, that if you do some action repeatedly, and thinking is also action, you're
Yeah.
thinking that yes, I want to serve, I want to serve. So you kind of create neural circuits, new neural connections
Yeah.
you create. And then over time, that connection is kind of spontaneous, it becomes natural. Then it becomes your habit to serve. Then you serve from your heart naturally. Initially, you have to make little effort, but over time it becomes natural for you.
Yeah, like children, for example, that's what you were saying, hardwired. When they are very young, they always want to give, they want to share their toys, share their candy, and so on and so forth. There was somebody who was saying that, right, that in a plane, there was some child who was crying away for a long time. And I don't know where I heard this, or somebody was sharing this, that everybody is like, oh, let me put earplugs in this. So there's one child who is like 3-4 years old, who is sucking on his lollipop and his pacifier. He somehow is able to get out of that seat belt and comes out and starts walking towards the child, in this waddling gait, and then goes and gives his pacifier to the child. So this baby, so this big boy, which is about like what 3 years old, bigger boy, is giving this pacifier to the child. And all these adults see how insensitive. Oh, can this child shut up?
That means they were selfish,
They're
they
so
wanted
selfish.
to.
See, as we grow older, we become selfish.
Become more
We become
selfish.
more and more insensitive to the needs. But you see how this child felt the need,
Right. And
felt the
also,
pain.
yeah, and the concept of mirror neurons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It is said that, when even in the um, neonatal care, small little babies, they're kept in that NICU. There also, if one baby starts to cry, then all other babies, they start crying.
yeah, yeah.
Because they pick up the
Right.
vibrations of that.
Even if they can't hear very well, they can pick up the vibrations.
Yeah.
If one is in pain, one is in distress, others also begin to experience that distress. And we as adults, our neighbor may be in distress like real big time, and we'll shut off our doors and switch on the TV, have some French fries, and then go to bed. Right? You see, this is what is happening, and I want that, and that's the truth of the matter. I mean, I know each one of us knows deep in our heart how insensitive we have become to the problems of others, and how look at that small child who really could feel the pain of that other child. Can we bring that ability to serve, ability to feel others' pain back up to the surface? Yeah, is what I feel is a need.
Yeah, empathy means the same thing, that you are feeling, you're able to feel other
Yeah.
people's pain.
Yeah, the compassion, the empathy. And I was thinking, like, which I had shared last time, that on one hand, the Raj Yoga meditation is all about being a king, being a sovereign, being a master. Then how does this servant consciousness really fit into this? And So servant is serving really, you know. And when we think about servant, we feel, oh, this lowly thing, you know. Uh, Servant, who has respect for a servant? And so why is this whole consciousness being created or being talked about to be a servant? Oh, we should be masters, we should be powerful, we should be good, we should be great. Servant? Right? But servant comes from
Unless,
serving.
yeah, unless you become a servant, you cannot become a leader.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Serving
a
can be very
prerequisite.
powerful.
Serving can be very powerful.
Prerequisite of becoming a good leader is first you have to become a servant.
You remember back in India, we used to hear, now I don't know whether they do it or not, but these government officials, when they used to write letters to people on the
They
bottom,
would write at the bottom, obedient, your obedient servant.
or public servant,
Mhm.
on public service, on government service, but public servant sometimes, that I am a servant of the public, though they may be the top officials of the government, they would write that. But now I think it's gone away. But truly, why are we where we are? Whatever position that we have, whatever possessions we have, whatever, wherever we are, why has all this been given to us? All these gifts that we have received is so that we can serve others with that.
And if we remember that we are servants, that then we can bring the quality of humility also in our actions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that really touches.
What other qualities do you think would come up when you take up this thought of serving, servant?
Compassion,
Good.
Yeah.
compassion, kindness,
Kindness, very nice.
gentleness.
Gentleness.
I think when I feel I'm so blessed, that gives me a feeling more towards serving. And also there is another thing, is a stimulant. In other words, if you see in your lives somebody suffering from something, and either you or your family being helped out by somebody, that really also makes you a change of heart, that
To reciprocate, to carry
Reciprocate
forward
the-
this help, yeah. Very nice. What else?
Gratitude.
Gratitude, yeah. That's very powerful too.
Love.
Love, yeah.
I think we talked about the acronym for servant.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
S stands for selfless service,
Yeah, selflessness.
selflessness, and also I think along with selflessness, there is another S that is sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
If you really want to
But
become
even
a
one
good
more,
leader,
surrender.
surrender, yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Right? You have to say, so if you have a big cake, is it more fun to eat it or is it more fun to share it?
Maybe someone, it is possible for someone to just eat all the whole cake and feel happy.
So you, but sharing clearly,
I doubt it.
Doubt it.
yeah. But sharing gives you that fun, the joy, right?
Yeah.
I
So
think
sa-
that eating gives you a temporary happiness, serving gives you long.
Yeah, sharing it with others. So a lot of S's are coming up now. So what did you first say? Selflessness.
Selflessness. And
That is
there's-
not about you, it's about others, right?
Yeah. No,
Sac-
selflessness means you are not, you're
Expecting.
serving others, but you are not thinking about any kind of benefit,
Yeah.
for yourself. But
Unconditionally.
unconditionally, you are
Yes.
helping
So your
someone.
motive, your intention,
Intention
is
is
elevated.
very pure, and you are not expecting any returns.
Yeah.
You are just serving from your heart.
That you get recognized by the newspaper, by the television.
Yeah, there are no expectations of getting name or fame or things like that.
But
But
selflessness coming only with the love.
Yeah. So these are all
With a
very
lot of
connected.
love.
These are
they
all
are
very
all-
connected.
Yeah, these values, they are.
Because what
Complement
happened,
each
I was so little girl, I love ice cream so much, and my sister was giving everybody, and I saw she didn't care for her, and I felt so I bring my part to her, and minute she picked it up and gave it to somebody else, my brother's wife, and I was mad. Only reason I was mad because I wanted her. Brother's wife is not loving to means it's different. So that day I found out that first we have to develop the love. then
Yeah,
selflessness go with that, no?
correct. Very
That's
good.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at it, that the whole world is my family, not just my family.
Yeah, but that time,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. But
but
now
that
we are.
time, yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
that's okay. We're growing. We're evolving.
So there are different levels to serve, right? One is limited
Mhm.
serving, and then another is unlimited serving.
Mhm.
So this is limited when we are serving only the family members, thinking
Uh-huh.
only about the family members, but not thinking about the whole world.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
comes
if we
under.
don't know some person, we don't want to serve her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't
Unknown
consider them
people.
to be our family members. We don't consider them to be our family
Okay, so
members.
first go beyond the
If you think
Right.
about
It's a
unlimited,
Vasudhaiva
then
Kutumbakam. That's
yeah,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
extend your definition of family, essentially.
So if you, the interesting thing is whatever you put in is whatever you get out of it. So if you in an apple pie, you put 10 apples, you get this big an apple pie. If you put 100 apples, you get this big an apple pie. So if you serve in a limited way, you get back limited results. If you serve in an unlimited way, you get back unlimited benefits, unlimited
more
blessings.
blessings,
More
yeah,
blessings.
more blessings and less
Unlimited
blessings,
blessings,
unlimited
infinite
blessings.
blessings.
Exactly.
That begin
Depends
to
upon
serve
it's
you.
again it's our choice.
It's
What
our
do we
choice.
want?
What do we want? True. So, lot of essays, huh? I know we can spend the whole 3 hours on these essays, right? So, selflessness, sacrifice. Yeah,
A good leader is the one who has to really sacrifice a lot.
yeah.
Sacrifice his time, his energy, his sleep,
Sometimes, yeah,
right? Sometimes sleep,
yeah.
food, and whatnot.
Right.
A lot has to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I want to come to
Because-
this in a little bit more deeper. So,
Okay.
good. So, sacrifice. Then,
Mhm.
third,
Surrender.
surrender, right? And there was one more S that came in my mind just a moment back.
Sacrifice.
No, we already talked sacrifice, selflessness, surrender. But there was one more S that came when you said something. Something came. I said that. That's okay.
You said surrender. That's
Okay,
what you
surrender.
said.
Maybe that's what I'm remembering. So surrendering to first we have. So I was thinking if we could, or maybe we could take this later, the surrender and sacrifice, because these are real deep aspects, and we might be able to touch upon those a little bit. So what was the other for servant? E for
E for egolessness.
egolessness. So you
Because only
sacrifice
when,
your ego, you surrender your ego.
yeah,
Mm.
because only when you sacrifice or surrender your ego can you be humble.
Mhm.
That humility, the quality of humility will come into action only when you really sacrifice your ego.
And ego is also that me and mine, so
Mhm.
then you are stuck in the limited, then
Right?
can't go into the unlimited.
Yeah. And also E for empathy.
Empathy, yeah, that's a good quality right there.
Mm.
All right, then R is resilience.
Resilience, yes.
What other R's can be
And
there?
respect also.
Respect.
So important to give respect.
Anything else coming in your mind for R?
And I think another R is um, replication.
Replication.
Because leader is the one who would really like to make others like himself.
Yeah.
Right? Good leader is not the one who always says that I am the leader, I want to be leader, I don't want other people to become leaders. But a good leader is the one who really creates other leaders.
Yeah. But then we also have to. I was thinking when you said replication was to become a replica of God.
Yes, that is also another good one.
Yeah. Because God is selfless.
Mm-hmm.
God is ever pure, ever loving, ever kind, ever empathetic. So how can I be like God? Become a replica of
Replica
God.
of God. And God wants us to become like Him.
Yeah.
So we should also keep that aim, that whatever God is doing, we should also follow Him because we are
To
children
become
of God.
agents of God. So if people don't have the strength, like you were sharing that the souls don't have enough power, enough strength. So if they don't have the strength to rise up and connect to God, they have you as God's agent, so they can reach up to you
Right.
and say, yeah,
That's what agents do, right?
yeah,
That's what agents do. We are finding difficulty in getting some flight tickets or something, and then we ask
Yeah.
some agent to do it for us, and then it becomes very easy. Then we don't have to worry about anything. We just
right.
get the ticket, and then we are
So we have to
fine.
become agents of God,
Yeah.
replicas of God. Beautiful. Thank you for saying that. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, and I haven't thought about replica. That was a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, so R. It's getting very interesting. So servant. V for
V for values
values.
and also being viceless.
Vices. Yes. So you have to
Yeah.
let go of your vices.
Yeah.
So if
No
somebody,
fire inside. So vices are like fire, right?
that's so true. In fact, so if you have anything like if you are addicted to say smoking or alcohol or gambling or something like that, there's no way you can be available to serve anyone, right? If you are stuck in such deep negativities like true vices, then it's not possible.
If the leader himself is becoming very impatient, intolerant,
Yeah.
getting frustrated, getting
But I was no,
upset.
I'm not just these simple ones, but vices. When the thought that I'm getting when I'm thinking about the word vices are these real, not just these little bit small babies or the grandchildren of vices, but the true. If you kind of are addicted to anger and you just kind of throw things around the room and and all of that, then you can't really serve.
That's true. Gross and subtle, both types of
Yeah, so
vices.
right, so subtle is one thing,
Mhm.
which is very interesting. We can spend a whole day talking about that, but I was at least talking about the gross things that we have to be careful of those. Like gambling, somebody is stuck with gambling. Somebody is stuck with trying to get lottery tickets all the time, and he's always thinking about which numbers and all this. That person can't serve, right? So if I have anything like this in the gross form, subtle form takes years and decades to get rid of, but these gross forms you have to at least start working on those, right?
And the main ones are anger, greed, attachment, ego, and lust. These are
Yes.
the five main ones,
Yeah,
main
correct.
vices.
Main vices, right? So vicelessness, okay, and virtuous and
Virtues, values.
value based, okay. So then A,
A stands for being available, like
available.
available for, always available to serve.
And that's what I want to talk about in a little bit separately. Surrender, sacrifice, availability, right?
Yeah, and also altruistic.
Altruistic server. That there is no feeling that I should get something out of it. Like God. God never wants
Yeah,
anything.
that's why God is called also as altruistic server.
Right. Okay, then N.
And for,
What do you think? What do you want to say for
yeah,
N?
let's ask now from all
Was
of
it
you.
nobility?
Nobility.
Nobility,
Very
yeah.
nice. What else?
Non-violence?
Sure, non-violence. Yeah. I think you're connected with nature.
Nature. Nature and nurture, actually.
Yeah.
To nurture.
Yeah. Ability to nurture, ability to
Nurture.
sustain, ability to hold things and help all of these things move forward, nurturing and connected to nature because nature has taught us so much and still teaches us.
Yeah, and connected to our own nature. That's the
Really.
most important.
Yeah.
Staying at peace. If leader himself is not at peace, cannot serve, cannot nurture others.
Sure, yeah. Then we move on to T.
T is tolerance.
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 Trustworthy.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy, that's the
Yeah.
most important.
Trusty consciousness.
Trusty consciousness. We
Talk
had
to-
another session on that,
Right.
right? Trusty consciousness.
So this is wonderful, and so now I wanted to take us onto a different paradigm, and then we can do the meditation. I know what I'm going to talk about is really deep and intense, and if it makes sense, that's fine. If it doesn't, then you can kind of work on it. Because I remember when we used to listen to like the chief of the Brahma Kumaris of New York and Americas. Some of the things were so deep when we used to listen to them, it used to take me 6 to 8 months to just process that and make any sense of it. So even if it doesn't make sense, that's fine, but just hold that for a little bit. One of the things that we think about is when we serve is the service that we do really is quite a bit convenience based. You see, it's quite a bit choice based. Yes, of course, I
We
want
don't go out of the box.
out of the box. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, but out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, that's what I
Box,
do.
yeah. Box, yeah. So good. But what I meant not just going out of the box would mean doing unconventional service, but also truly getting out of the comfort zone that we are stuck in. So one is to serve. I always say that if you have, say, money and you give some to others, what's the big deal? When you don't have anything and then you do something, is when the real thing begins to bloom.
Yeah. I remember there was one, I think, one documentary or something where a small child, he had just one pair of shoes, and then he saw another small child with no shoes or
No,
something.
that was a beautiful video. I wish
Really?
I can show it. I wish I can find it. It was an Egyptian movie.
Uh-huh.
It got some sort of a big prize, but I'll share that. So there's this rich, so yeah, a rich family and a rich child. Okay, so, and another small child is shown who is doesn't have feet, who doesn't have shoes or slippers or anything. He's barefoot and he is polishing shoes on a railway station. So these people are waiting for the train to come, and this child is polishing shoes for a few pennies here and there. And so now this child has these really beautiful shoes, very shiny black shoes, which a little bit of speck of dust comes, and the child cleans it up nicely, and then sits like this. And then the train comes, and as the train starts to move very quickly, and the child somehow accidentally one of the shoe comes off from the train and falls on um, the platform, and so the train starts to move, and the child is crying because he's so stuck with that shoe. He wants to get down, but the parents are holding him back because the train has already started moving. And so
I
now,
remember the last scene.
last scene. You want to say it?
No, you,
So now this person who is the child who is the
maybe you can ask the audience.
what do you think happened? What do you think? Why would it get
Through the other two
Yeah.
out, so the
Yeah.
boys could have both.
beautiful,
Right.
beautiful? So that's exactly why it got the prize, because this small other child who doesn't have any shoes, he's running. Now he takes the shoe and starts running, and this small child can't run too fast. The train is getting faster and faster. Wants to give the shoe to the rich child, and runs, and at some point the distance is getting more and more, and the child is getting tired, and then there's this distress on the child's face because, oh, my shoe is going away, my beautiful shoe. And then suddenly there's this realization, the change of face, complete change. It's a animation movie.
Animation, yeah.
And then he looks down, he takes off his other shoe, throws it for you. You don't have shoes. Here it is. This one shoe is useless for him. The one shoe is useless for that child. But you see from that child, I mean, it really, when you see it, it kind of creates, a soft feeling. You start to have a little bit of wetness in the eyes. It's just a very interesting scene,
Very emotional.
very emotional, very beautiful. But you see the child who has nothing, who doesn't have feet, is running to give it, and we have everything, and we still don't want to do it. So many times when we have, so if you have and you don't do it, that's horrible, really. But don't have to go there. But if you have and you do it, what's the big deal? I want to take us all and leave you to this beautiful. Here is a tissue. So here I want to leave you with some understanding of how, after we have made a choice, right? There is a choice element to it, to serve or not to serve. But once you have made the choice to serve, the choices go away. Either you serve or not serve. Then you don't serve little. You don't serve only at certain points or to certain people, right? That's what we do. I will serve this much only to these people, only at these times of the day, year, month, or life. Is that true service? Is that what an apple tree does? Apple tree serves, apple tree gives, right from the beginning to the end.
Even the sun does not say that I will give rays only to this particular place. Sun's rays are everywhere, right?
Only to my community. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care about anybody else. I'm going to help only my family members, only my community, only my country. That's not what sun does. That's not what an apple tree does. That's not what a river does. That's not what ocean does. That's not what nature does, period. That's not, the sun doesn't say, I'm going to do it only in the morning, not do it, or go do it only during January, not, it gives. Every single day. Comes up, gives, goes back, comes back up, gives. And when it is not giving to us, it's giving to someone else anyways. It's doing its job, period. And what do we do? How unconditional is our giving? How surrendered is our desire to give, to serve?
Actually, we are helping ourselves in this way. This is what the soul needs, coming back to
True.
the same
True.
idea of, this is the soul's requirement. The more we give, the more the soul gets.
Scientifically also it has been proven. People who practice generosity, one is practice gratitude but also practice generosity. They do so much better health-wise. They live longer, they have less diseases, they have less flu, they have less high blood pressure, they have less heart attacks, they have less everything.
That's why, when you get sick, that is the time for you to serve.
And even before that too, so you don't get sick.
Yeah, but still, if somebody gets sick, they are kind of, they think that they cannot do anything. They're just
Right.
lying on the bed, and they think that, it's very hard. They,
Oh, my
they
back hurts. I can't do anything to help anyone. Oh, my knee hurts. Oh, I can't do anything.
And you can experiment with this.
Yeah.
When you really get sick, that time you get up and help someone,
Yes.
and you will see yourself. You will feel very good.
And I have realized this over
We have
these
experimented this so many times. So many times we have experimented this with our own life.
Almost as if I want to take this to this point of non-negotiability. Think of it. That once I've made this choice that I want to serve, then everything else becomes non-negotiable. I have to serve, period. Whether I'm feeling good mentally or not feeling good. Whether I'm feeling good physically, not feeling good.
Yeah, the
But-
chief of the Brahma Kumaris, Dadi Janki, she would make sure that in the morning time, before she takes her own breakfast, if she had not served anyone, she would not take any breakfast. She
For
would make
years,
sure.
yeah.
For years she did this.
And today too, yeah.
Yeah, she would go and she would share whatever, enlightenment she got from the spiritual message or whatever. And then, she would go in the gardens, she would go close to the
Beach.
beaches, and then she would interact with people to give this knowledge to them.
Then come back
and then come back and then she
only
will
then
have
she would have anything to
anything
eat.
to eat.
Non-negotiable.
And see now, she is 103 years old.
They say that her pretty much all her coronaries are 100% blocked. Yeah, and yet she travels.
Doctors, they have so many times doctors have said no, we cannot do anything for you.
Yeah,
But still, she leaves the hospital smiling.
Oh,
and goes, yeah.
Because the type of service that she has done, she has collected so many blessings. She has traveled across the whole world. In every country, almost every country she has
Yeah.
traveled. So
I-
she has served to
Her
that extent.
passport would be something to look at, huh? Yeah. She might be changing her passport every 6 months. Even the
Yeah.
jumbo passport won't work. Huh? So this is interesting how much she travels across.
What
There's-
field she's traveling right now?
Yeah.
So there's
she's
one person
traveling.
who we met at Raleigh. She said that Sadi Janki had come 15 years back when he was in Bahrain or somewhere where he was. Where did he say? Doha or somewhere where he was working. That's where Dadi Janki had come, and she touched his heart so much, and now it is reigniting that fire. He says, "I want to learn about Brahma Kumaris now." So this is what it is, that when you forget about me and mine, or my body, my this, my that, my sleep, my rest, my family, my this, is when you can truly serve and serve in the way that, and I don't want to say that we're doing, or you need to do this for any public accolades or anything, but this is a very nice thing to understand, that somebody said that you get praise in public for what you have prepared for in private. So only when you do a lot of inner homework is when the world will even recognize you, if there is a desire for recognition. That really is not what I'm getting at. But people will look up to you. You will truly become an agent of God. You will become a source for other people, a source of motivation, source of inspiration for others, which is very beautiful, which is very healing, really. If you want that, there is a lot of inner preparation that is
And
needed.
then illness will also say goodbye to you. Your body will start to cooperate.
Yes, body becomes happy.
Yeah.
Body
Sometimes,
says,
if we don't, if nobody appreciates, we don't want to start, Yeah, always needs the appreciation.
yeah.
Somebody say thank you or something, Then
So we rise above appreciation now, right? You're doing it to serve, and
You are
everything will
getting
come.
it actually.
You
You're getting
appreciation.
it. Even if somebody is not saying anything to you, but still you did your job
So you get appreciation from yourself.
Yeah,
You get
feel-
appreciation
from your
from
side.
God.
from
You
God.
get
From inside.
appreciation from the universe. The problem is that we don't take a moment of silence to listen to the appreciation that the universe, God, and you yourself are giving to you. Can you hear just for a moment? Let's take a moment of silence. And in that silence, that silence would really mean not just this physical silence. I know you're listening to my words that as I'm speaking, but truly silence of your mind. See your mind as the surface of a lake. No waves, no nothing happening. And in that silence, you begin to hear that gentle voice of the universe saying thank you. You can hear the voice of God saying thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. And you yourself are saying to yourself, you to you, thank you. What more do you want? Three wonderful energies, unlimited energies. You as a soul, God as the supreme energy, and the entire universe saying thank you to you. And if your family doesn't say thank you, if your friends don't say thank you, if your patients don't say thank you, if people at work don't say thank you, it doesn't matter now. Whatever energy you give out will come back to you one day.
You can feel it.
You can feel
I
it.
can feel it.
Yes. Yeah, because you practice that. You take time out. You value silence. So if you have a choice between sitting in silence versus a party, where will you go?
Sitting in
Silence, right? So whatever you value is what you get back. The choice is yours. Any other thoughts that you have?
It's law of attraction also.
Yeah.
You attract what you work on.
Yeah.
So if you work on silence, you attract more and more silence towards
In a
you.
way, you're creating silence, so you attract more silence.
Yeah, and then you will be able to hear your inner voice. And that voice is actually, it can serve you so beautifully. You just have to connect, take out some time, and listen to it.
I think it was a very powerful discussion. I feel motivated myself. I feel that the that it's not just the information, but I feel motivated for change. And wherever I am, change or rising up,
This
and
is what happens when we
come together.
come together, and also we together we try to go within and connect to that
The
space
cumulative
of
energy.
silence.
Yeah.
Then everything becomes easy. You don't have to struggle a lot. This is the beauty of coming together and practicing meditation together.
Yeah.
So that's why we have these sessions we keep every week, so that that is an
I remember when
opportunity.
I used to go for
Mhm.
to the Brahma Kumaris Center in India when I started. I felt so grateful that there is a space that is so close to me, and that I can go there and experience peace.
Yeah, and the moment we would go there and sit, instantly we would feel so relaxed.
Yeah,
The entire,
like an oasis in the desert.
yeah, the whole day we would be studying,
Yeah.
and the tiredness, whatever tiredness we would have, it will just be gone the moment we would step
We
into
would
that.
value it so much that going into that space, and also valuing the time that we spend there, that we allow the energy to kind of seep into us, right, to soak in that energy, is to value that so much. And we still value, I still value. I come home from work and I value this space. I'd say people have to actually first have to go to their home, and if they want to come to the meditation center, they have to come to the meditation center. For me, coming home is coming to the meditation center, and I value that so much, that I have the unique opportunity to, throughout the day, if I'm at home, but if I'm not at home, I'm at work, I come back to instantly soak myself in these beautiful vibrations that have been created with all of you together. I come down here, I just stand here. Sometimes I have to fix this, I have to take out the chip, and I'm standing here, and it's just 2 3 minutes standing here, even like in the afternoon when I was trying to do this, when we were trying to fix this light and all that.
Because of the accumulated,
Energy.
cumulative energy that is here.
I value it, and
Yeah.
that's why it is serving me. And so this inspiration is what I would leave all of you with. Is it's your choice, and see what you truly value and do accordingly. Is there any questions, any thoughts? And then I was thinking you could take us through another little bit of meditation experience, just to wrap up the whole thing.
Okay.
But any questions? Anybody would like to say, ask something? We had actually there's a smaller group but more interactive, and I think in a bigger group people feel more shy and reserved, and
Especially me.
yeah, and why what will people say or think, and but at least you felt little your questions answered, right? Yeah, so that's very good. Anybody in that go to meeting would like to ask something? For a minute or so we can pause and give them an opportunity to. Sometimes nice questions come up from the web.
Yes, Debbie? Can't hear you.
I think maybe I may have decreased the volume.
I'm sorry, I forgot to turn on the mic.
Okay.
One thing I found in myself doing volunteer work for Baba's house and also at the Unitarian Church, it becomes natural to feel genuine joy to giving when it's something that I feel I can do. Like if I have to change the tires on the car, I can't do that. And it won't give me the joy that, painting a wall does. And it seems like that's what Baba would want. That's what he wants, because that's the variety, right? The variety of the fruits.
Good, good. But that's a very good point. I want to say again to this aspect of, we serve, selectively. So you what you've done is great. So you have used your talents in the right way, which is beautiful because the talents grow when you use it for a higher purpose. Otherwise, people I know have the best talents, but they all wither away with time. And when you are with Baba, you're doing with meditation, and with our so many years of experience, I've seen that whatever talents you have, you use it for God's service. It only grows. We call God as Baba, Baba's service. Baba's service means Baba wants the whole world to be more peaceful, more happy, more connected, and so we're doing His task. But the other thing I want to take us to is non-selective, total surrender in service. We have infinite capacity within us to serve. We have infinite capabilities, unlimited possibilities. We can do much more than we even think we can. And we limit ourselves by thinking that we can only do something. Like you said, I cannot change tires of the car. That's what you think. You see? We can do anything we need to do. As soon as we surrender ourselves, then it's almost you let go, and you kind of let go of your own limitations, and you enter into this unlimited space where God takes over. Says, all right, I can
You
make
just
it.
have to say yes.
Yes,
Say
that's
yes.
what I'm saying.
Say yes to everything. Whatever opportunity, whatever service you get, you say yes. And if God thinks that you won't be able to do, then God will send someone else
To help
to
you.
help you.
As simple as that.
God was
Or
just testing you.
or maybe just create that capability in you to do it, or uncover, or allow you to rediscover the capacity that you.
Sometimes we ourselves don't know that we have the talent.
Yes.
Someone else they tell us that you can do this, and then we realize that yes, I can do it. And sometimes we take it for granted. No, no, this I can't do it.
Right. Who knew that? Did we ever get a training to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are here. Of creating flyers, of creating banners, of creating blessing cards, of doing programs. It's just you have to do. You just step up and just show yourself up, and surrender to God. God, you take over. I remember the first time when we were asked to speak, I said, I can't. I've never done this. And in America, still you have, right from childhood, you're taught how to speak and all that in school. And in India, nothing like this. Public speaking, I don't think we have ever gone to do any public speaking lectures or sessions or anything. It's just we surrender to God, and God, you use us in a way. Today, I mean, today also, even for 2 minutes, we didn't plan what we are going to speak. We said, let's sit there. We'll allow God to serve others through us. We just have to surrender. And may only the best come out so that people get served, people get something out of it. So, taking ourselves from this, we will discuss this more. I want this to be another session in the future where we discuss this, that how we have to move from wherever we are in service to going to not convenience based and not being selective. So, selective is not just I'll serve at certain points, I'll certain people, but also not in certain ways only. I can serve in an unlimited way with everything I have, with my body, my mind, my wealth, my intentions, my creativity, my power.
That means in one word we can say be open to serve.
Open.
Open yourself to serve.
Yes. Surrender. I was thinking even from openness to
Mhm.
this word of surrender
Yeah.
to God's will to serve. There's
That's a
nothing
beautiful
else.
word.
Nothing
Sir
else.
under. So we are under that sir. God is our sir, right? So whatever directions we get from him, we are following.
Yes.
Yes.
Like a servant, you think of it, as a servant, a true servant. I don't want to use the word slave, but a true servant doesn't have a choice. He wakes up in the morning and prepares the food or gets the cows out, or whatever needs to be done, right? And he has to do, period. End of the story. If I think of myself as a true servant of God, servant of humanity, then there is no choice.
Even if you think about God, how He is serving us
He
every
says, "Oh,
single
today
day.
you boring me too much." You say use the word bore, right? You're boring me too much. Today I don't want to help you. I'm going to help you only by painting the wall because that's what I know how to do. That's it. No, it doesn't work like that. Whatever you need, God is serving. So how we can go into this unlimited capacity to serve?
Every
That's
moment He's serving us, we have to actually
replicate God.
replicate God. That's a nice word, right?
Yeah.
Replica. We have to become replicas
God.
of God.
Anything else? No? Debbie is smiling. Debbie enjoyed that answer. Yeah? Right? Yeah, she's so full of happiness, bubbling with happiness now. Yeah? Very nice. Good. True servant, right? Yeah, truly.
Yeah, you serve here when you come. Every time you come here and you serve from your heart.
Every now and then she'll be like,
Mm.
"Oh, let me bring this. Let me, buy this and get. This was a
Real
great
true
deal.
selfless
Yeah,
service. she's
great
doing.
deal I got. $5 this. Let me get this. One for myself, one for God's home. This much.
We joke sometimes about getting points, earning points,
Yeah,
but I'm always joking.
yeah, you
I
are.
just, it's a different way of thinking for me, so.
Yes, lovely. Yeah, we jokingly talk about brownie points or service, right? Yeah,
That
minus
keeps
points.
us. That keeps us motivated also,
Happy
right?
and
Yeah.
just taking it lightly.
Lightly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we do some meditation?
Yeah.
A few
Few
minutes.
minutes of
Yeah.
meditation.
And I can play some music for us. I'll dim the light for all of us so that we have a good experience.
So having gathered this information, let's together take the experience of servant consciousness. Remember, we all are here in this world for a special purpose. That purpose is to serve each other. But it starts from the self. So serve yourself with this thought that I am a special child of God. God who is serving me unconditionally at every step. I feel God's help. And being a child of God, I need to replicate that. So see yourself in that image. It is said, God has created all of us in His own image. So bring that image where you see yourself. In that elevated form of serving the self and serving everyone, including all the creatures on this planet Earth. Every breath, every thought, every action, every word, you are serving. And as you serve, you are serving your own soul. The soul starts to dance in happiness the more you serve. So see yourself serving in an unlimited way, unlimited capacity. We all have this unlimited potential to serve. Just have this pure thought, pure desire that I want to serve. Maybe from today onwards, bring this shift in your consciousness. Servant consciousness. I, the soul, am a great server, and through serving the self and others, I become a leader. I am a servant before I become a leader. Om